Buenas a todo el mundo, piltrafillas. Aquí estamos justo donde lo dejamos. Tercera está ahí. Y nosotros nos vamos. ¿Qué hay aquí? El consejo privado. Se puede salir por donde quieras. Básicamente, puedes investigar un poco si te da la gana. Venga, vamos a investigar. ¿Qué cojones? Bloqueé, no. Parecía, pero no. Esta debe estar bloqueada, ¿no? Bloqueada, efectivamente. Nada. Parecía, pero no. Hay que salir por aquí. Hola, ¿qué tal?
Alistair, what are you doing here? You were supposed to rot in the dungeons.
Ya ves.
That is indeed what I feared, but the light of R'hllor guided my steps out.
Sir Villar, the Queen awaits your presence.
We shall meet again, Alistair.
Sí. En cuanto tenga la oportunidad te voy a reventar. Y en cuanto tenga la oportunidad que me ensaño. Capítulo 5 de nuestros días. Es un feo. Oye mi rugido. La persecución de Podio ha terminado con su muerte y tú has regresado a Castillo Negro, habiendo cumplido tu misión. Ahí te espera una delegación de embajadores de Jon Arryn, la mano del rey. Han pasado 15 años desde que combatiste a su lado durante la rebelión de Robert Baratheon. Aunque querías haber dejado atrás tu pasado, él ha enviado a Ser Godric Donnelly, uno de sus caballeros más leales, para solicitar tu ayuda en una importante misión. Una joven a la que se va a proteger se encuentra en grave peligro y tú tienes que encontrarla y llevarla a un sitio seguro. La intensa joven y la amenaza que supone son datos que Jon Arryn ha decidido ocultarte. Consciente de que debes la vida, decides ayudar a ese hombre a cumplir su misión con la aprobación de Jorah Mormont. Mientras te preparas para partir hacia Viatop, el lugar en el que han enviado a la misteriosa mujer que la mano del rey quiere proteger a toda costa, te ves sorprendido por una terrible noticia. Tu viejo amigo Jon Arryn ha muerto. Va a aparecer Ned. En algún momento aparece Ned.
So, just like that, Jon Arryn was dead.
Unfortunately, I'm afraid it's true. The royal seal and the missive was still unbroken when the Raven arrived.
That would mean that he passed shortly after I left King's Landing. I will pray to the Seven that his soul receives the welcome it deserves. He was a great man.
In his letter, he mentioned being wary of those around him. He feared for his life and talked about enemies of the realm who were preparing to strike. A troubling coincidence. I'll wager it has something to do with the girl.
Who knows? In any case, he must have thought her very important.
Do you still hope to carry out your mission, Sir Donnelly?
Yes. I shall not betray my lord's last wish. I must finish carrying out his orders and find a safe place for the girl. Now that we have an idea of where she is, there is no need to trouble you any longer.
You underestimate the Mole's Town tunnels. They're quite a labyrinth for newcomers. You'll need my expertise.
I would also prefer one of us to accompany you. I'd rather know what's going on in the gift.
Very well. I have a host of men waiting south of Castle Black on the way towards Molestown. I hope to meet with them and gather any news before proceeding. Jared, my lieutenant, will have warned my men of our arrival.
I'm counting on you, Moors. Report to me when you've finished your mission.
We'll leave immediately. I just need to make sure of one last thing.
As you wish, sir.
Theomar! Dick! Lion! I shall accompany Sir Donnelly to Molestown. His camp is close by. I am counting on you to get there as soon as possible. You must ensure that peace is maintained in the gift.
Very well, Moors.
Let us ride, sir. It's a long way to Molestown.
I'm right behind you.
Bien, vale. Pero antes... Antes te esperas. No, espérate. Y el top, hangares. La rebelión de Rock Fuego Valiente, la guerra sin privado. Misión. Personajes. Gas. Los Targaryen. Los dragones. Vale. Va, tengo dos. De momento voy tirando. ¿Dónde es? Apa. Vale. Hacia allí, ¿no? ¡Me cago en! Pues, es un coñazo, ya lo sé, porque si no me lío. Aquí, ¿no? Por ahí, ¿no? ¿O por aquí? A ver. Sí, es por aquí. ¡A Villa Topo! A las... ¿Ahí? ¡A Villatopo! Un hombre debe aprender a observar antes de ver. Brinden ríos. Venga. Dos hombres de Donnerly para
John Arryn, dead. I still can't believe it. That sly old fox was tougher than Valerian steel.
Yes, it's unfortunate. But I wanted to interfere with the mission. My men would have set up camp in the area.
Aquí, ¿no? Sí.
Sir Donnelly, did everything go well in Castle Black?
All is well. As we had hoped, the Night's Watch is here to help us. I gave Sir Westford the missive I have here. He knows where to find the girl. What's going on here? Let me hear your report.
We were able to position some men here and scout the area. The region seems safe.
We're in Night's Watch territory. The lands are obviously well protected.
Of course, my lord. Jared passed this way. He took some men with him to scout the village south of here.
I never promised such a thing. Jared forgets who gives the orders here. I'll make sure to remind him in due time. We'll continue our journey, Sir Westford. Let's go towards Molestown, where we'll probably find Jared. Robart, stay in your position and await my return.
As you wish, sir.
No me fío del Jared. Apartar. No, por ahí no es. Jared nos la va a liar y nos va a traicionar. Estoy seguro de ello. Eso o nos lo encontramos muerto, una de dos. Si el farol es, no sé qué pinta ahí.
You know something. Spill it before I scatter your teeth onto the floor.
Please, I beg you. I don't know what you're talking about. I swear. I'm but a simple traveling merchant.
Enough, Jared.
What? Oh. It's you, Sir Godric. This peasant refuses to answer my questions.
Leave him alone.
You can leave.
Very well, my lord. Thank you.
I haven't finished with him.
Yes, you have. No one tortures the people of the gift.
Eso, Mors,
without good
imponte.
reason.
And you'll do what? Hang me, like you did my brother? Try it. I could use a
No,
laugh.
¿Ves esas astitas que tengo ahí en la hombrera? Te la voy a meter por la cavidad anal. Así que, calladito.
These lands are under the authority
Antes
of the
diplomático
Night's
momento,
Watch.
pero...
I will personally punish any man who cannot restrain his blade or his fists.
I'll wait and see.
Shut your mouth, Jared. You disgrace us when you speak to Sir Westford that way. But... Silence! Return to camp and await me there. Sir Westford, his behavior is unacceptable. I offer my most humble apologies.
Just make sure he doesn't delay us.
I'll keep an eye on him. How do you plan on finding the girl?
John Arryn's letter mentions the whores at the brothel. We'll start there.
Do you think they'll talk?
The Night's Watch is in charge around here. I've had a few dealings with the local madam before, when sworn brothers found their way to her establishment. If she knows something, I'll soon find out.
Ya sé yo cómo...
The hamlet seems tiny. We'll have gone through it in no time.
Don't let yourself be fooled. The Mole's Town is much bigger than it seems. More than 3/4 of the town is underground. The underground tunnels were dug by several generations of people. Living below the surface protects them from the cold. And in the midst of the tunnels is the
Joder, estoy
whorehouse.
pesado,
I'm sure that's where we'll find the girl. This much was clear in the letter.
I see. So she's hidden among the whores. Few would think to look for her there. Lord John Arryn certainly was a diligent man.
Si no fuera porque sabemos cosas de Mors, de que le sigue siendo fiel a su mujer y todo eso, hubiera soltado que la va a convencer a base de polvos. Directamente. Esta criatura más temible que un hombre completamente justo. Varys. Túneles de Villatopo. Las palabras se las lleva el viento. Tyrion Lannister. Vamos. ¡Qué susto! ¡Ay, Dios mío!
Come into my castle with me. Don't be shy. My castle's big enough for all of you.
Sí, vale.
Well, well. If it isn't the great Mors Westford.
Tú eres la madame, está muy cascadeta, amiga.
What can I do for you, handsome? Why don't you join me in my chambers, and I'll show you what a real woman can do.
The day the wall collapses, I'll think about your proposition.
Charming as usual. So, what are you here for? Come to take your lost crows home? Walder brought in a new boy. I believe his name is Patrick. They're in the back. Do with them what you will. But no brawling in my establishment.
No, I'm not here for pleasure. I'm looking for a girl.
Then you're here for the same reason as everyone else. What is your pleasure? Fair hair? Brown hair? Dancers? A girl skilled with her tongue?
Tell me, Sybil, when was the last time a newcomer turned up at Molestown?
I don't know. Quite a while ago. Why?
Because I've heard that a girl recently arrived in town. A young woman fleeing.
What was she fleeing from?
The kind of danger that would force someone to hide out in a remote place like Molestown. Men who want to kill her at any cost, for instance.
And she meant to hide here until the world had forgotten about her?
That's right.
But what did she do?
I don't know. But I hope to find her before those other men do.
I would like to help you, but I'm afraid I've not seen your mystery girl. If a Southron girl had turned up, I think I would have known.
I never said she was Southron.
Eso dijo yo.
Oh, well, I just assumed that. Anyway, if you came here just to ask me foolish questions,
Cagao ya.
I must request that you leave. I have a business to run.
Listen, Sybil. This girl is in considerable danger. I believe that the men chasing her may have been involved in the death of the King's Hand.
The King's Hand was assassinated? Moors, you must be joking.
When have you ever known me to be joking?
¿Tú le ves la cara, Sibel?
Powerful enough to assassinate the King's Hand.
¿Creo que tiene pinta de bromear si no ha sonreído una maldita vez en todo el juego?
Well, what would you do if you found
De momento, claro.
The King's Hand wanted this girl protected. I'm here to make sure that happens. I'm sure I can protect her better than you and your girls can.
Very well. I know that you're a man of honor. I hope I don't regret this decision. The girl's name is Jane Greystone. She's been hiding here for some time.
I thank you for your trust, Sybil. Now, where is the girl?
She's in one of my rooms, downstairs. Go down the stairs, turn left. It's the last door on the right. But don't you dare hurt her.
Don't worry. I'm here to protect her. Thank you for your help.
So, lads, do any of you want to play come into my castle with me?
Eso ahí. Joder, qué fea eres, cupón. Ah, vale, el tablero de este. Amigo, ¿qué haces aquí?
Why, it's Moors. I wasn't expecting to meet you here.
Would you shut up?
You've taken your vows so recently. Your words still hang in the air, Patrick.
Please, Moors. You know the Lord Commander turns a blind eye
Sí,
to
pero
this.
yo no.
Just look at the poor bugger. All of your fellow watchmen are dead. You know how it is. He needs to pick up his spirits.
I can speak for myself, Walder. Moors, would you care to join in our discussion?
I don't know much about you, Patrick. I hear you used to be into smuggling.
I don't really want to talk about that, Moors.
Don't be shy, you're amongst brothers here. You've probably seen plenty of interesting things in your life. Tell us.
First of all, I was not a smuggler.
Weren't your crimes what led you to take the black?
Very well. If you really want to know, like half the men at the wall, I was once a farmer, with fertile lands and a family. Then one day, I lost everything. I was out hunting for stag, and when I returned home, there was nothing but smouldering ruins left. The wildlings were raiding along the coast, and it led them right to my home. My wife, she wasn't the type to let herself be pushed around by anyone. If you saw what they did to her...
7 hells! Every last one of those wildling monsters deserves to die.
All I had left was my warhammer. I'd found it while marching with the Starks during the rebellion. All I could do was take my boat and follow the scum across the Bay of Seals. Once I got to the other side of the wall, it was easier than I'd expected. They probably thought they were out of harm's way, and they were careless. They didn't even try to cover their tracks. When I finally caught up with them, it was dark out. The swine were getting drunk on what they'd stolen from me. So I waited for my moment. After a while, most of them could no longer stand.
No, te hace tiempo,
That's when I went for them. First, I killed the watchman. But then one of their men saw me and cried out. It became a bloodbath. The drink had made them slow of foot and awkward. It made it easy for me. I don't know how long the killing lasted. When it was over, I was covered in blood, wounds, my clothes slashed to shreds. I said to myself, Pat, you're a dead man. Might as well let the cold take you. I let myself drift off. When I opened my eyes, I was in Castle Black. I had been picked up by rangers who'd discovered the camp. It took me a month to heal. In that time, I was accused of everything by the Brothers of the Night's Watch. Smuggling, being a wildling, and I just couldn't convince otherwise. So, as soon as I was able to walk again, I was given the choice. Take the black, or the noose.
You suffered an injustice, but you had the right of it to join us, brother. You have a new family now.
Incredible! I didn't know a killer like you was one of our recruits.
What about you, Walder? How did you get to the wall?
Let me think about it for a minute. Where to begin?
No sé.
I think I know what you want to talk about.
Say nothing, Moors. You'll spoil the surprise. You see my necklace, Patrick? The High Septon gave it to me personally.
The Eye Septon? The head of the Faith of the Seven? You must be joking.
I swear it's true.
He's right, but I'm not sure you really want to hear the story.
On the contrary, I would like to hear it.
Very well. I had a simple, humble, and poor life, like you, Patrick. Much like any other peasant in the Seven Kingdoms, you might
Y la otra
say.
bailando por detrás.
I had a wife, Shori. She was delicate and buxom, always smiling, a good woman. Never complained without good reason. She was devoted to the Seven and always ready to aid her neighbor. The best day in my life was the day she agreed to marry me. But all good things come to an end. She fell ill while with child. I sold everything to pay for her treatment. My livestock, my fields, and even my home. All that only to be sold false remedies by swindlers preying on my love. When I finally figured out what they were doing, I pounced on two of the filthy whoresons and gave them what they deserved. I beat them bloody and took my time over it too.
You chose your destiny, as we did ours.
I wasn't expecting that from you, Walder. I'd mistaken you for a skilled thief.
It would have been better if I was. I probably wouldn't be here now. I spent 20 years of my life protecting this piece of ice. And unlike you, if I had to do it all again, I wouldn't.
So that's when they caught you?
No, let me finish. Shuri held out until the end of her pregnancy, so that the child could survive. She suffered more than I imagined possible. The day she went into labor, I was alone with her. Giving birth to our daughter was too much strain. It killed her. I buried her that same evening. I wanted a better life for my little girl.
Y deja pasar por en medio,
I
Connor.
swore by the Seven that she wouldn't end up like her mother. That she would only have the best. The following day, I left home carrying what was left of my possessions on my back to baptize my little girl into the faith. I walked for more than 3 weeks, feeding my little girl as I could, and praying each day that she would survive. I eventually reached King's Landing. I knelt before the wondrous gold and crystal dome of the Great Sept. Once inside, an old Septon welcomed me. I told him my story. I confessed everything. He listened attentively. I cried on his shoulder, and he comforted me with soothing words. Afterwards, he took my daughter in for observation. He asked a servant to bring him some goat's milk, and that's when I understood. That old man wasn't just a Septon. He was the High Septon himself.
Really?
Yes. He said if I handed myself in to the king's justice, they would take care of my daughter. He would personally ensure that she'd have a good life.
And you gave yourself up? Just like that?
That's right. I gave them my little girl and handed myself over to the king's justice. When they brought me in, the High Septon personally gave me this necklace. For me, it represents my absolution.
Quite a story.
Yeah, I
Well, see.
suppose so. But yours wasn't too bad either.
Each and every sworn brother has his tale to tell, and none of them are enviable.
What about you, Moors? Why did you come to the wall?
I can't talk now, Patrick. I have affairs to attend to. I must go. I'll turn a blind eye this time. But don't linger here too much longer.
We'll have another round and then we're off, I promise.
Bien, bien.
All black and brown and covered with hair.
Aquí hay algo.
It's not what it used to be, the Night's Watch. Just a gang.
I want fresh fish. Your fish is rotten.
Eh.
Oh yeah? Well then, why don't you
I see you always
Bran. ¿Eh? No le he dado,
Made a stranger take me. A crow this far from its home?
It's the butcher. Mind yourself with that one.
Of course. But we could say this is our territory. We don't approve of strangers stomping around here.
Silence your tongue, Ben. You try to get us killed? What should we do, my lord?
What are you doing here?
We're here on business. Nothing out of the ordinary.
Do you think you can easily fool me?
No me tomes el pelo.
So spill your secrets before I make spill something else of yours.
Please, we're only carrying a few goods to help out our friends.
Smuggled goods. A girl came through here recently. Did you see her?
If a lass had come through here, we'd have noticed it, my lord. Sorry, we've seen nothing.
Consider yourself lucky this time around. If I catch you smuggling again, I won't be so lenient. Now, out of my way.
Listen to the Black Brother Bran. We will obey you.
Venga. Guardando. Eso significa que voy bien, ¿no? Ah, bloqueada. Vale. Ah, qué cosa está aquí. Jane Greystone. Hola.
There you are at last, young lady.
Is that her?
Yes. There's no doubt about it. The trail leads right to her.
Who are you?
I am Mors Westford, a ranger of the Night's Watch. The King's Hand sent us to find you.
The Night's Watch? The last time I crossed paths with one of you, he tried to steal from me.
No veo.
You're the girl that craven deserter tried to steal from. He was no longer a brother of ours. He was a traitor to our order. And that was my dog that saved you from him back in the woods.
I thought I'd seen that animal before.
Enough. Sir Mors, you can leave us now. You have completed your mission and the Crown will show you its gratitude for this.
You aren't a member of the Night's Watch.
Indeed. This is Sir Godric Donnelly, Lord Arryn's emissary. He is responsible for your protection.
Come with me, Jane. I am here to take you to a safe place.
A safe place? I know Sir Donnelly. You don't look like him at all.
Stop with the games, little girl.
Go to hell, imposter!
Silence! Tell me, child. You say you know Sir Donnelly. Where and when did you last meet him?
At King's Landing, a little while before I left. It's because of him that I'm freezing up here. So yes, I do remember his face.
Be reasonable, Jane. Our Lord's last wishes were to take you to a safe place, which is exactly what I plan on doing.
Liar!
Something's rotten here. We'll return to Castle Black and figure out what to do.
I'm afraid not, Sir Westford. Do you intend on opposing my Lord's orders?
I know full well where my duty lies. This situation would not please the Lord Commander.
Hacerme caso que si no te doy.
Mormont will decide. This matter is closed.
Thank you, my lord.
I don't understand why you are being so stubborn, Sir Westford. I'm asking you one final time to allow me to leave with the girl. Return to the wall and report that your mission was a success.
Me fío más de la chica, lo siento.
To take this girl to safety. And I will. You can plead your case to the Lord Commander.
Very well. I was hoping it wouldn't have to come to this, but you leave me no choice. I won't allow anyone to get in my way.
¿En serio? ¿Qué es esto? ¿Alguien me explica por qué? ¿Por qué cojones? Pues me lo ha jugado el maldito juego. Me la ha jugado el juego. Es la hostia. Me ha quitado las armas porque le ha dado la gana. Flipo. Juro que flipo. Tío, es que me parece injustísimo, macho. Sí puedo dejar que me maten y que se cargue tal, así que siga atacando. Si me mata, me mató. Porque me parece una forma injustísima, macho. ¿Por qué motivo me ha quitado las armas así? Que me mate, que me mate. Voy a dejar que me mate. Acabo de flipar, te lo juro. Acabo de flipar. Game over. Normal. Pues vamos a dejarlo aquí. Y macho, injusto el juego, No entiendo por qué motivo de repente me estoy dando la parte 2 no, que no lo entiendo. Me acabo de quedar completamente a cuadros. Pues vamos a dejar aquí mientras esto carga. Así que, ya sabéis, like, favoritos. Y el que no le haya gustado, pues mala suerte. Nadie es perfecto. Adiós.